Welcome to Somerville Gives Back. My name is Nancy Bacci. I'm your host. With me this morning, a representative from the Somerville home, Kelley Sferrazza.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out today.
Excellent. We're very happy to feature the work of the Somerville home, so I thought we'd start with a little history, perhaps for people who aren't as familiar with the organization. So
Sure.
A little background about the facility.
Okay. So the Somerville home, the concept started in 1898. The members of the Daughters of Maine Club had a rummage sale, and they raised $11.86, and they wanted to do something for their fellow Somerville residents. So they decided to form a home for the aged and for poor women, where they would have a home-like setting.
Oh, that's a wonderful thought.
Yeah, obviously $11.86 wasn't enough to start a home, so they met up with a woman named Martha Hunt, who was a philanthropist, who made them a proposition. She said, "I'll give you $5,000 towards the home if you can come up with another $5,000 as well as open the home to men." So they took her up on that offer.
Excellent.
The home was incorporated in 1898 and initially moved on Grandview Avenue in Somerville. We moved it to this location at 117 Summer Street in 1927.
So you've been here for quite a while.
Yeah.
And how did you become involved in this position? Has working with this population always been an interest of yours?
Initially, I came to the home in June of 2008 from Healthcare for All, which is a nonprofit organization in Boston. I was the business manager, and I had worked closely under my predecessor for a couple of years, and then the opportunity came up where I stepped in as the acting administrator. Based on my work I had done in that position, as well as applying with the other candidates, I was voted unanimously into the administrative position in April of 2010.
Excellent. That's a nice accomplishment.
Thank you.
One of the important things that we wanted to touch upon was the difference between a nursing home, a rest home, an assisted living facility. I feel that these terms are sometimes just bandied about and people nod along in agreement and not really understand the differences between them. So perhaps you could shed some light on that.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, a nursing home is more skilled nursing. A lot of the residents tend to be bedridden or have complex medical backgrounds. Here in a rest home, we're called a level 4 facility, meaning our residents are very independent, able to come and go as they please. We do have walkers and canes, but we're not wheelchair accessible. In an assisted living and a rest home are very similar. It's just a rest home provides all of the amenities of an assisted living and more. We don't charge additional fees. We're not a la carte. So here, they have the comfort of our residential care staff being staffed 24 hours a day. They're all first aid trained. If there's an emergency after hours, the resident care staff are going to respond as well as call 911. Whereas in assisted living, they most likely will have to call 911 and wait for a response team. Here as well, they don't have to worry about doing laundry or preparing the meals. We do that for them, no additional charge. There's activities 7 days a week. So they have the option of choosing what type of programs they want to participate in. Do they want to play bingo? Do they want to go on a field trip outing? Do they want to just sew or knit in a room with a fellow friend, play some board games? That's their choice here.
Well, it's great. I mean, it's a very welcoming facility. Kind of as soon as you come out, the grounds are very nice. You have the gazebo outside. We were greeted by 4 or 5 people just on our way in, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And fish tank as soon as you come in, kind of a nice way to engage. So it is really a nice facility, and clearly you're providing a level of care that's needed in our community, which is a great resource that we're happy to help highlight. As you had mentioned earlier about the founding of it and, the costs associated with, and clearly the need for sustainability, I know that you have an upcoming fundraiser.
An important thing I wanted to clarify is a common misconception here in the city of Somerville is that the Somerville home is associated with the city, and we're not. We're a private, not-for-profit rest home that's governed by a board of volunteer directors. So here we heavily rely on our fundraising efforts, and that's because the reimbursement rate we do get from the government for the room and board has been frozen since 2008, and that's based on 2005 costs. So you can imagine, oil costs, electricity, everything goes up year after year, and it becomes a challenge. And the upkeep of a facility that was established in 1927, that costs a significant amount of money as well. So this this June, we're very excited, June 21st. It's a Friday night. We're going to have Jim Plunkett at the Montville Plaza again. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen Jim perform, but he's a riot. He gets everyone up and singing and dancing, and make sure everyone's engaged. It's just a lot of fun. We have some raffles there, some silent auctions, and all the proceeds raised that night will benefit the Somerville home. So
That's excellent. So if people wanted more information or a ticket, how would they best find out about that?
They can contact us here via email. It's info@somervillehome.org, or they can call our main number, which is 617-776-0260.
Excellent. Well, hopefully you'll get a large number of people out there to help support the great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
In preparation for this visit, we did check out your website a little bit, which has a lot of really helpful information. I think if people are looking to find out more about the work and programs that you offer, the website is really the way to find that out. Hitting upon that, I saw some of the field trip options that are out there. And could you tell me a little bit more about the possibilities that exist with that?
Sure. One of the benefits here is that we do own our own 12-passenger van. So we're able to take the residents out for errand runs to the local bowling alley, Kmart. We do New Hampshire trips. We'll go out and view Christmas lights, go into Boston at times as well. We try to, do as much as we possibly can. We have a lot of big sports fanatics, so we make sure we touch on the Red Sox and the Patriots and all of the Boston teams.
I like to hear that. Support the hometown boys.
That's right.
And I'm sure, again, it's nice to really see that all of these opportunities exist. I think as much progress has been made about the work of these types of facilities, I think in some minds there still exists the idea like, okay, you go in and, you're basically just kind of hanging around. It's nice to see all the opportunities that exist, trips to get out, ways to socialize, in-house programming that you offer. There really is a great opportunity. One thing that we often hear from some of our age population is the importance of faith in their lives and the very strong role that plays as a means of support and comfort, especially to some who may not have a lot of family nearby or, want something as kind of a nice touchstone. So you offer faith services to the residents?
We do. We try to, our activities department works very hard to make sure that we have representatives from all the religions come into the home. We acknowledge all the holidays. We try to encourage, our Jewish residents to speak about what the holidays were like for them and kind of explain it to others who may not follow that type of religion. So non-denominational and very inclusive. The St. Catherine's Parish right up the street has treated us very well. Their parish members sponsor our residents every Christmas, so we're very fortunate to have those gifts come into the home, and they are put to good use.
So as you had mentioned with St. Catherine's, that is a great partnership to have that right down the street, and again, that's also my parish, so I know the work that happens during the holiday season, so it is really nice to tie to the community as well. You want the residents who are living here to realize that they are residents of Somerville.
Right.
Stay connected with the community and participate in other events. Now, I know each summer the Council on Aging, which is very active in the city, sponsors the annual senior picnic down at Powder House Park, and I know that your members participate in that as well. And that's always such a great day. I provide volunteers for that event, so I'm on site for the whole time. So it's great to see the buses and minivans pulling up and the seniors really having the opportunity to get out, meet with their peers, and just partake of a great day. So that's one of the examples of the services that the Council on Aging provides. Do your members tend to take part in any of their activities as well?
A number of our residents also participate in their day programs, their Super Bingo activity, Ralph and Jenny's Center, Windsor House. So they'll go out and participate in a lot of those activities.
Nothing says a fun Tuesday like Super Bingo.
That's right.
To get back a little bit more about the services that actually happen here, as you had mentioned earlier, meals are provided, their laundry is taken care of.
Right.
So clearly this must engage a large number of staff also to help things run so very smoothly. So a typical day here, how does their laundry get to being completely done for them?
Well, we have 43 staff and 3 shifts here. They have them on a schedule, so depending on which day of the week their housekeeper would come in and straighten up your room, maybe strip the linens from your bed.
They have housekeepers?
They do.
Okay.
I know. And then they have laundry bags where they take their laundry down and everything's returned. So all of the clothing is inventoried when they first move in, so we make sure everything's returned appropriately.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And are there scheduled meal times, or is it more just kind of stop in?
It is scheduled meal times in a common style dining room. So the nice thing is they always have the choice of 2 hot entrees, or they can choose, a sandwich or something if they didn't like that. There's a lot of variety here.
Now, is there a lot of opportunity for residents to give feedback? Like, maybe I really like macaroni and cheese and it's not on the menu. Is there kind of suggestion box or a way to provide that sort of input to the staff?
The residents have a resident council here that meets the last Monday of every month, and that's where they can air their likes, dislikes, concerns. They have a president that reports it, and the minutes are taken, and then the staff all respond to it. So it's a great opportunity for them to say, I hated the meatloaf, or I want to see more mac and cheese or something on the menu. And we take that feedback into account, and we incorporate it into the activities calendar as well as the menu.
Well, that's great. And I think it's a nice way for them to feel empowered in decision making as well.
Yeah.
A lot of time as you do age, some of your capacities become somewhat limited and there is a different level of engagement. But this is really a nice way to still feel that your voice is heard, and then to see that reflected in, now you have a backgammon game and perhaps you didn't before. Or a nice way to still feel valued and heard, I think, is very important. You had mentioned earlier that your board consists of volunteer members. Could you chat a little bit about that?
Sure. We've had some board members that have been on the board of directors for 25 years. It's a really dedicated group of people. Sandra McGoldrick from Winter Hill Bank, Rob Costello from Costello and Landrigan, Joe Sullivan from JJ Plumbing. So they're all local people, which is great. They're helping give back to their community. They're vested in our mission. And they help with the fundraising efforts and, anything from having the Kiwanis come and visit and do the Kiwanis Santa comes here every December, which is great for the residents.
Very nice. Are there any other ways for you to utilize volunteers if people perhaps watching this would like to lend a hand and have some availability?
We are always looking for volunteers, whether it's for someone to come in and sit with the resident and just talk, or come in and run an activity. Maybe you have a hidden talent, you knit or crochet, and you would help teach some of our residents to do that. So if you're interested, again, I would say send us an email to info@somervillehome.org or call our main number, which is 617-776-0260.
Excellent. Now, do you accept any sort of donations? I know you had said like the partnerships with the holidays, but is there kind of a need year round? And if so, is there a way we can take a moment now and kind of help highlight that?
Absolutely. We are a 501c3 organization, so any financial contribution is tax deductible, which we highly encourage people to take advantage of. It goes towards our mission. In 2010, we worked very hard and raised $21,000. And then our water heater went, and it all went to the water heater. So it's like, just know that, sometimes the money is for something as extensive as that, or it could be another trip to the Red Sox game, or to go to see the Rockettes when they come into town. We always make sure that we take care of the residents, and that, we try to make this place more comfortable and better, and repair as much as we can every year, and keep the home looking well.
You do an excellent job of maintaining the facility, so your staff is clearly to be congratulated. One last area that we did want to touch upon for informational purposes is, how does someone get to live in such a well-maintained facility?
So our application is available on our website, and it can be downloaded, or you could call here and request a hard copy. We always encourage families come in, tour the facility, meet the residents, ask the staff questions, make sure that this is the appropriate fit for your family. 9 times out of 10, they do come in and they're very happy with the facility, and are comforted by the thought that, their mom or their dad's going to be okay, and seeing how social everybody is, and knowing that, this is probably a better setting than if they were living alone and just kind of isolating themselves.
Right. I know that's something that we often hear sometimes with the older population, is the fear of isolation. Just that sense of, a lot of people are resistant sometimes to leaving their homes.
Right.
Because, it's that sense of maintaining your independence. But I think that really is highlighted here by the fact that you said you're able to come and go and run errands. And if you choose to participate in group activities, that's wonderful. If you choose to not, that's also equally wonderful. So
Right.
you really are providing a great service to the residents of the city. So
Thank you.
best of luck with your fundraiser, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Excellent.